Some people graduate and suddenly feel empty. Not because they failed, but because for years they only knew who they were inside a system. Does university shape who we are? Or does it simply tell us who we are? Most of us at some point in life have introduced ourselves with a sentence like, "I'm a student. I studied this major. I have a master's degree." But the question is, were we really introducing ourselves? Or were we reassuring ourselves that we are someone? In developmental psychology, especially in Erik Erikson's theory, early adulthood is often described as a stage centered around identity formation. During this period, university offers something deeply comforting: structure. It tells you who you are, where you're going, what to study, when you'll graduate. And for a mind that fears uncertainty, structure feels reassuring. But here is the issue. For many people, university was not only a personal choice, it was also an unspoken contract with family, with society, with the fear of falling behind. Sometimes, people study not out of curiosity, but out of fear of disappointing someone. And the problem begins when identity, instead of being built from within, becomes attached to a role. Research in identity psychology shows that people whose sense of self is primarily built around external roles, like being a student, a profession, or a social status, often experience emptiness when those roles disappear. That is why some people graduate and suddenly feel lost. For the first time in years, there are no classes, no deadlines, no structure waiting for them in the morning. Only silence. And a difficult question. Without this system, who am I? This does not mean that university is harmful, but sometimes it quietly becomes more than education. It becomes identity, security, direction, proof of worth. On the other hand, educational research consistently shows that deep learning does not necessarily happen only inside formal institutions. Being a student is a temporary role. Being a learner is a mindset. And the people who continue to grow after university are often the ones who move beyond the role, but keep their curiosity. From a sociological perspective, university is not only a place of learning, it is also an institution of legitimacy. Through it, society says, this person is credible. Their voice deserves to be heard. And perhaps that is why degrees carry emotional weight far beyond education itself. Because sometimes a diploma is not just knowledge, it is social permission. A way for society to say, you matter now. But here is the paradox. Recent research on work and skill development suggests that many real-life abilities, communication, adaptability, emotional intelligence, and creativity, are often developed outside formal education. University often validates ability more than it creates it. So the real question is not, should people go to university? The deeper question is, am I trying to grow, or am I trying to escape uncertainty? University can provide structure, offer language and community, create opportunities, but it cannot create meaning, generate passion, build an authentic identity. Attachment to university is often an attachment to external certainty, not weakness, but a deeply human response to uncertainty. Real growth begins when a person can remain curious without grades, without professors, without constant validation. Because eventually, every structure disappears, and every person, at some point, is eventually left alone with their own mind. University can be a beginning, but it cannot become the entire self. If we use it to understand ourselves, not to hide from ourselves. And perhaps the most important skill is not what we studied, but whether, without a framework, we still know how to learn. Sometimes thinking is its own form of walking. And if tomorrow no degree carried any meaning, would you still know what you truly want to learn?